I am so excited to come back and see you all. I'm sorry that the way that we had to first reconnect was through this insane IRB process, but hopefully these videos will actually be useful to you. I would like to say that I'm not an expert. What I'm saying is just based off of personal research, some conversations I've had in the past with the people working at the IRB office, and our research project that we did a year or so ago. So this is by no means expert advice, but hopefully it will be somewhat helpful. I would also like to offer a word of encouragement for anyone that's feeling a little bit discouraged about the confusion or the lack of progress towards the IRB. It's totally okay. This isn't really your fault because this is something that should have been explained to us in better detail in our class, and it wasn't. And so for that reason, we're all kind of suffering for it. So it's not your fault. That being said, though, it is definitely time to start thinking about the different components of the IRB. The first step is to decide whether your project is a quality improvement, QI project, or if it's a full-on IRB research project. So quality improvement projects are super narrow. It is pretty rare that somebody would do this type of a project for their capstone. So keep that in mind. I'll give you an example. Say you're working at a pediatric clinic and there are a certain number of kids with CP that come into the clinic, and you notice that these children might benefit from an additional movement program. You create this program and then you implement it with every single one of the children in that clinic that has CP. You collect data and you realize that the movement program is actually helping those kids with CP have better outcomes. So the clinic implements that program for all children with CP, current and future, to allow them to have better healthcare outcomes. A few things to notice in this example are that, one, it's applied to every single person in that facility, the program that's created, and two, the results are specific to that clinic. That means that the project's data that's collected is not intended to be shared with neighboring clinics or to be published in a way that is generalizable to clinics across the country or other places that treat children with CP. This specific type of research is done purely to benefit the clinic at which it is conducted. That is quality improvement, QI. However, on the other hand, you have the IRB. IRB is more for projects that want to discover new ideas or to generalize information that could then improve healthcare outcomes. It is meant for projects that involve randomization or control groups and things like that that are very structured and very research-y. I'll link a couple of documents that I found helpful. They're just some little articles that provide examples and definitions of QI versus IRB that I found helpful in deciding whether my project fit one category. I think this is the first step. You should definitely take this time to consider first whether your project is QI or if your project is IRB. QI has less forms, however, like I mentioned at the start, it's only for very specific types of projects. The IRB, which I believe more of our projects will fall into, has a set of forms, and we'll get into that in another video. But the first step is to just think about your project, think about what you want as the outcomes for the project, and then finally decide whether your project is QI or IRB.